So social media is destroying people's mental health, and it might be destroying yours even if you don't realize it. You feel like you're behind in life. See all these influencers and celebrities who are living your dream, they've achieved your perfect physique, and they already have all of your desires covered. They're better looking than you, they have more muscle, they have more money, they have more influence, and they have more respect and status than you. So how are you ever gonna be able to match those people that you keep seeing constantly in your feeds? Now, before I get into this video, I just want to put out a bit of a disclaimer. The advice I'm going to give in this video is a little bit unconventional. And if you are actually suffering seriously from very bad mental health, maybe this video could help you, but maybe not. Now, this video, the advice in this video is going to be more tailored towards guys. Now, that's not me being sexist, but this kind of advice is usually more resonant with dudes. Now, if you're a girl watching this, maybe you can watch it if you want, but this isn't really the kind of advice that usually helps girls out. It's usually more for dudes, but feel free to keep watching if you want. But it is a bit unconventional, and some of this advice is probably going to piss a lot of people off, but it's what's helped me, and it's a mindset shift that I think is super important for a lot of young people. So the first thing that is a little bit unconventional that I want you to realize is you are too easy on yourself. A lot of people say that we are too harsh on ourselves and we need to slow down, we need to take it easy, stop being as harsh on yourself, you've got to love yourself and you've got to respect yourself and stuff like this. Now, that advice may be good for some people, but for a lot of guys who are in this kind of space of self-improvement, of trying to get better, trying to become a better person, genuinely, you need to be harsher on yourself. If you're scrolling through social media and you're seeing people who are in the position that you want to be in, and that makes you feel left behind, like you need to hurry up and you need to make money and you don't have the genetics to achieve that certain physique that you keep seeing people at the gym, you're not as pretty as that guy, you're not as good looking as that guy, you're never going to be able to get as many girls as that guy, you're not going to be able to command the same amount of status as that guy. All of these thoughts, and then you turning around and saying, look, listen, I need to be easier on myself. Maybe I don't have the genetics for that. Look, I'm only 23. I need to not work as hard. I need to just enjoy my life. I need to take life a bit slower. I'm stressing myself out too much. When you start talking to yourself like that, yes, you may think it's good for your mental health, but seriously, sometimes I think you need to actually be harsher on yourself. So what do I mean by this? Look yourself in the mirror and face it. Face the fact that you are not as good as these influencers. Face the fact that you do not make as much money as these influencers. Just face it. Face it that they're better looking than you. But then once you can face it, you need to understand that they have put the work in. They understand how to get to that level. They've worked to get to that level. And when you can click that in your mind and look at yourself and be like, yeah, do you know what, actually, I've just been fucking about and wanking for the past 10 years. I've not done fuck all. I've tried to build a business, but then given up after 3 months because it didn't work out. I've made 10 YouTube videos and then I just stopped after 10 because I didn't go viral. I went to the gym twice this week and I was meant to go 5 times this week. When you can face it, you can realize that actually, yeah, I'm not putting the work in. Maybe your negative thoughts and the things that you tell yourself about yourself, oh, I'm not as good looking as that guy, I don't have as much money. Maybe just face it. Maybe that shit's true. Maybe your negative thoughts are actually the thing that's going to help you, which I'm going to get onto in the next piece of advice. But maybe that is the key. Maybe you're being too easy on yourself and it's just because you're giving yourself excuses and constantly forgiving yourself, you constantly stay in the same situation, right? Nothing changes. What if you treat yourself or got your brain to sort of treat you like a drill sergeant, okay? So using the negative thoughts, this is step number 2, using those negative thoughts that you now faced, right? You faced it, right? Okay, fine. I'm not as good as those people. I'm gonna be harsher on myself. I've not put the work in. And actually those people that I look up to on social media, the people that are destroying my mental health because they're so further ahead of me and they've achieved all the stuff I want to achieve, face that, okay, yeah, fine. They just are. I'm just not as good as them. You're not as good of a person as them. I'm not, right? Then you can use that as fuel. You can be your own drill sergeant. You can say to yourself every time that you watch porn, you can literally bully yourself for it, okay? Some people are going to think this advice is really toxic, to be harsh on yourself, to fight yourself within yourself, okay? I think it's positive. I think if you can really be harsh on yourself and be like, fuck's sake, I fucked up again, and you start getting angry at yourself because you've missed an upload, and you said to yourself you would upload every day for however many days, and you miss an upload on your YouTube channel, don't be like, oh, it's okay though, because I worked, for like the past 2 months and it's okay, it'll be fine, it's not a big deal. Why don't you just be harsh on yourself? Like a drill sergeant in the military, like when you fuck up, you get shouted at. Like, be harsh on yourself. There's nothing wrong with that for guys. Again, for girls, this is usually can spiral into like a negative, very negative, like genuinely harmful thing. But why don't you just be harsh on yourself? Now, full disclaimer, again, I'm not saying physically, right? Don't be an idiot. Don't physically hurt yourself. Mentally though, you can be strict with yourself, and I think you should be disappointed in yourself. And I personally am disappointed in myself for missing an upload. I think it was 2 days ago. I missed an upload. I was very disappointed at myself, genuinely disappointed in myself. And when you can get to that level where you treat yourself kind of like a drill sergeant would treat you, I feel like that's positive, because that is going to drive growth. Whereas the other option of being nice to yourself, yes, maybe that's better for the way you feel in the moment, but in the long run, nothing fucking changes. So you just constantly stay in the perpetual cycle of having no self-esteem, no self-respect, because you're seeing these people on social media, it's ruining your mental health, but you don't do anything to try and actually match their level. You don't do anything to try and get to that point. So use that as fuel. Use your negative emotions. Use your brain to fuel you. When you've skipped a workout, think, you know what? No, I'm not skipping the workout. I'm not fucking doing it again. And turn around and go to the gym. Go to the gym and blast your legs. Stop skipping leg day, right? Be harsh on yourself like a drill sergeant would. Once I started thinking like this and treating myself like a piece of shit, honestly, for fucking up and failing. When you can treat yourself like that, yeah, people are gonna say it's toxic and it's not good for your mental health, but in the long run, you actually start to actually improve, because you can try and improve your mental health as much as you want. But there's a good quote from Andrew Huberman, and he's a neuroscientist, and he says, you can't change the mind with the mind. The only way you can change the mind and your mental health is with your body. So when you improve your diet and your fitness, and you move and you're active and you go and lift weights and you run and you climb and do all these active things, and you're out and about like a human should, like humans are supposed to be like swinging through the trees and fucking running and climbing rocks and running away from predators and stuff, right? When you can act more like that and be like, no, I'm gonna get out of my bed. I'm not gonna sit on my phone and fuck about all day. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna go for a run, right? When you can be like that and change the body and have physical changes, that is the thing that is going to improve your mental health the most. Stop trying to think your way out, and be kind to yourself internally, and trying to think your way out in this cute way of mental health issues from social media. You need to physically be hard on yourself and treat yourself more militantly, and go out there and actually make a fucking change. And that leads me nicely onto step 3, which I've kind of covered, which is to actually fix your mental health, your self-perception of yourself with evidence. So there's a famous quote from Alex Hormozi. If you know who he is, he's like this business guy guru, but he's actually really good. He's not like a scammer or anything. I actually really like him. I think his advice is good anyway. But one of the things that he says, and I can't remember the exact quote, but it's basically on the lines of, prove to yourself that you can do it with an undeniable stack of evidence. So like, rather than, what's the word, like willing it into existence, kind of like the law of attraction, right? Where you manifest things like, I'm going to be like that one day. I'm going to be like that influencer, like that I see on Instagram, who's got like the Lamborghini and the physique and the girl in the passenger seat, and he's like living in Dubai, having a great time, okay, and the watch and everything. You're probably looking at that materialistic thing and be like, yeah, that's really cool. I would love to get to that stage. Rather than just manifesting that and being like, yeah, I'm going to get there someday. I'm going to fucking get there someday. Why don't you just get the evidence and actually get closer to that level and like do things that get you closer? So for me, what's the evidence? Nearly 300 videos on the YouTube channel. Like, that's evidence. Like, that's evidence I'm putting the work in, and that I have a way higher chance of getting to that level someday than you currently do, because you haven't posted a YouTube video ever in your life, or you haven't posted any content, or you haven't done anything business related. Like, I have a school community. Like, that's another stack of evidence. Like, I have quit my job. Like, I leave in 3 days from my job. That's evidence. That's evidence that I'm going to free up time and have more time to do it. I have the physique, okay? So I can look in the mirror, and that's like, oh, that's like evidence of me getting closer to that level that I want to be like, to actually reaching the goals that I have, that I'm seeing on like social media from influencers, or that you're seeing from influencers. So actually build up that evidence, and that evidence will feed back into yourself. And then that drill sergeant mentality that you have, where you're actually trying to change your life with self-improvement, you're going to the gym, you're putting the reps in, you're doing the hard work, and you're not on social media, and you're actually trying to make a difference in your life. When you start moving the needle like that, and you start getting those little bits of evidence that it's working out, okay, you start seeing some like nicer looking V lines on your physique, you start getting some bigger muscles, you're like, oh shit, you know, it's working. That evidence that you build up, that feeds back into this feedback loop, and that overall is going to massively help with your mental health issues that I've developed over years of scrolling and seeing people who are just miles ahead of you. And the last bit of advice is dopamine detox, or a social media detox in this specific case, because we're talking about social media being the cause of having the mental health issues. And I'm not going to go into this too much on this video because I've done so many videos. So I'm going to link a video there that you can go watch on how to actually do a social media detox. I did a social media detox, and I've not had social media for a year and a half now, and I've never gone back onto social media. You can check the top link in the description of this video. I have a free school community where I have a course in there that teaches you basically like step by step how I delete social media, and then actually like the more important part is staying off of social media. So you can go check that out if you want. But yeah, social media detox. Now that we have actually got the equipment in our brain to fix our mental health, okay? So you're gonna be harsh on yourself. You're going to use the negative thoughts as fuel rather than fighting the negative thoughts. You're going to use that as fuel to be harsh on yourself. And then you're going to use that harshness to fuel you into actually making a change. And then when you actually drive that action and start making a change in your life, you're going to start building up that stack of evidence that is going to feed back into your brain. So you create this like feedback loop where you just start feeling great about life again. And this is the point I've got to, because I don't have social media. All I do is just focus on myself. I try and improve myself. I improve my body. I improve my mind, and I work. And when you can get to that level, rather than when you see so like influencers who have made it, like you know, the self-improvement influencers I watch who make loads of money and they're like have a great physique. When I see them now, I no longer am like, oh, fuck, I wish I could. I'm never going to get to that level. I really want to get to that level, but I kind of don't think I'm going to get there. Now when I see them, I'm like, I'm on my way, man. I'm like working, I'm on my way, I'm putting the reps in, I'm putting the effort in, and I genuinely think I'm going to get there because I can see the evidence, right? I can see the evidence of like views, money, and it just feels good. It feels so good when you get to that level where your mental health just improves massively, or at least it does for me. And I think that advice is something that a lot of guys can relate to. If you can be a bit harsher on yourself. I think too many guys are too easy on themselves and they course through life having not achieved anything in the day. They do fuck all basically, and they're just so nice and calm, and you know, they give themselves an excuse. It's okay, don't worry, you know. And I think we need to get out of that mindset. I genuinely think for a lot of people, it could be maybe negative in the short term to think like that and use that as fuel. But in the long run, it's going to actually drive action and change. So that is the main points I wanted to get across in this video. So I hope that was helpful to you in any way. If it was, I'd really appreciate it if you left me a comment with some feedback on this video, because I really want to get feedback on how I can improve these videos and how I can help you, more importantly, with the specific advice that I have around social media detox and stuff like that, and mindsets and things. So hopefully that video was helpful to you. Okay, thank you so much for watching, mate, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.